You're muted, honey.
I may have a special guest coming for Christmas from Israel.
Oh,
So
nice.
she may be here on Thursday when I teach. She's in the Israeli army.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah,
As women have to serve there.
yes, my daughter-in-law was, or my ex-daughter-in-law was an interrogator in the Jewish army, an Israeli army. And let me tell you what, you didn't get anything past that girl. She was, you didn't get anything past that girl. So
Yeah, I think the same for this one too. The very sharp.
yep, very sharp. So, all right, guys. So good morning, everybody, and welcome. We're here with our group for reading the Course in Miracles. And let me get us up and going on to, here we go. We are on Alpac. We're on the radio. We're here.
Yes.
Hi, Happy Christmas. Happy Hanukkah.
Yep.
I find it so interesting. People still think, if you go to a holiday party, that you should just say it's a Christmas party. Well, no, it's not a Christmas party. It's a holiday. We all got holidays. If you saw how many religious holidays are in the month of December, every religion has one. So of course you're going to have uh, happy holidays. I love it.
Happy holidays.
Yep. It's a jolly holiday with Mary. Mary Poppins. All right.
Just curious, who is Zoom user?
I think, is it Sharon?
Sharon or Cher?
Cher?
Cher is not Zoom user, no.
No, Sharon.
Oh, Sharon, really?
Yeah, she's been coming in as Zoom
Oh,
user.
Not on purpose. I just don't know how to undo it, and I'm going to have my granddaughter fix it for me.
Yeah.
okay. It's
But
Sharon.
it'll be, yeah, because I can. I don't. I keep Cliff and I keep trying to fix it, and it's not working. What were you going to say, Doug?
No. I just wanted to know who is behind the curtain. That's all.
Who is behind the curtain? Well, it is a wizard, the son of God.
Busy. All right. So who would like to read paragraph 3? We are in the Guide to Salvation. And this is getting deep into, how it is that we actually find salvation here. So I'm going to let whomever wants to read can read. And okay, great. Thank you.
Where's Rafi? He usually says I'll read first.
I know who knows.
Okay.
Oh, there's Karen. Yay.
Hi, love, and happy to everybody too.
Hi, everybody.
And Rico is at a conference, so that's why he hasn't been with us for the last few days.
Yeah.
But he'll be back also. So
happy. I love you all. Okay. There are two diametrically. Oh, no one's doing the opening prayer. Usually, we have the opening prayer. No.
That's right. Iris, pray us in, please.
Thank you, Lynn. Thank you, Dove. And I'm going to pray us in. I am here only to be truly helpful. I am here to represent Him who sent me. I do not have to worry about what to say or what to do, because He who sent me will direct me. I am content to be wherever He wishes, knowing He goes there with me. I will be healed as I let Him teach me to heal. Amen.
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 Okay. Hi, everybody. Good morning. Okay, starting off here in chapter 5, section 3, the guide to, I don't know, but let's read. Paragraph 3, there are two diametrically opposed ways of seeing your brother. Hey, that's not news. They must both be in your mind because you are the perceiver. They must also be in his because you are perceiving him. See him through the Holy Spirit in his mind, and you recognize him in yours. What you acknowledge in your brother, you are acknowledging in yourself, and what you share, you strengthen. Oh my goodness. This is the core of the course. In fact, in ACM Gather, where we all started many moons ago, we have up on the top of the room for the last dozen or so years, chapter 8, section 3, or 4, called The Holy Encounter. As you see your brother, you see yourself. As you think of him, you think of yourself. As you treat him, you treat yourself. Never forget, every encounter is a holy encounter. You're always speaking about yourself. Wow, wow. Sounds familiar. So he's really saying, if you have a thought of your brother as separate from you in any way, you're listening to the teacher of separation, which is the ego. And the ego will always see good and bad, will always see right and wrong, will always see you or me, us or them. It's always two, never the same one equal. Or you can ask, is there another teacher in the house? And you have to ask to see it differently. The other teacher doesn't step forward and say, hey, a dummy, let me point out what's true. No, no. It takes willingness, a little willingness to say, I really don't know what this is for. Please show me. And then spirit is incentivized or sanctified or given your willingness to see what's true, what's real, what's right, and nothing else is true or real or right. And that's exactly where Jesus says, hey, listen, I can sum up this entire course for you in 3 lines. If it's real, it can't be threatened in any way. You're eternal. If it's unreal, forget about it. It doesn't mean anything. Herein lies the peace of God. That's it.
I'm trying to get to the mic to it keeps moving around. So yeah, exactly. So if we see him through what? The Holy Spirit in his mind, then you'll recognize him in yours. I honestly believe you're not going to find the Holy Spirit in your own mind until you can see it through your brother. Unless I change my perception of my brother, I will never be able to see myself as holy. I will always only be able to see myself as being broken. And there's Rafi. You just called for him. He showed up. We just started a couple minutes early. That's all. Rafi, yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, well, this reminds me of what Lester Levinson always used to say. We used to say, share the method. And those who you share it with will receive it at the level of which they're ready to receive it. But when you're sharing it, it gets reflected back to you because everything is your mirror. So if I'm sharing the method with these truths with someone else, they get reflected back to me, and that if I'm open to the reflection and seeing that it is a holy encounter, then that strengthens the truth in me even stronger and stronger and stronger. So it's and once again, it's very simple. All you got to do is all you got to do is get in line with it and see it from the truth. So that paragraph is very powerful, and I love that it reinforces the same thing that I know coming from a different angle. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that, Rafi. And yeah, share the method means that you care enough about the other to share. If you don't give a shit about somebody, you're not going to give them anything. And so it's that it is my desire to love you that makes me want to share with you. And so, and my desire to share with you is what opens me up to join with you, to see you in my mind and see you and me as the same thing. So that's a very powerful thing because it is based on my willingness to see you as the same. And like I said, if I wasn't willing to that, I would not give a shit about you. And if I don't give a shit about you, then I'm not giving you anything. I mean, it's it's just how it is. And so Iris is next, and then Karen. Go ahead, Iris.
Thank you, Lynn. Thank you, Rafi. Thank you, Dov. This is a really, really great reminder. And it's really quite amazing, quite powerful. And especially there are two diametrically opposed, so that is they're really, really totally opposed to each other, diametrically opposed, and then they are both in your mind. They're both in your mind because you are the perceiver. And when it's basically saying to me that there's two ways of seeing anything. There's literally anything. Like your brother could be anything. It can be a body, it can be a person, it can be an animal, it can be a tree, it can be a situation. It really can be anything. And and both those views are in my mind. Both those ways of looking are in my mind. So I can look at something and be fearful of that something, which it's a limited perspective, but I have every right to look at it that way if I want, because I'm the son of God. So I have every single right to look at it that way if I want. To look at it with fear. It can be my brother, it can be an animal, it can be a situation, it just can be anything that I find myself observing. Or I can look at it in an expanded way, so I can look at it in both ways. I can look at it in the sense that, oh yeah, this thing, I can be afraid of it, which is a limited view, but I can still look at it that way if I want. And I can also ask myself, well, this is a limited perspective, and do I want to look at this differently? Do I want to look at this differently? And both those ways are in my mind, and I'm the one that has the power to decide, this is the way I want to look at it, or this is the way I want to look at it. And I'm not a victim of the world I see. I have invented the world I see, and that decision is my own decision. And it's very, very powerful. And I'll hand back to Lynn.
Wow, yes. It's very powerful. And you're right. It's not just because of the person, it's everything. It's everything that we're forgiving. It's everything that we're looking at. and making the choice, is this love or is this fear? And I love, that you can see that. Thank you so much, Iris. Karen, please go ahead.
Yes, Iris, thank you. And thank you, everyone. And yeah, that power of decision is the one remaining freedom. It's very, very powerful. Our one remaining freedom as a prisoner of this world. And I like the examples you used because it is a decision. Everything is a decision. And that is what is so helpful to recognize that I am responsible for which teacher I'm listening to. This paragraph really reverts me right back to the very first paragraph in the very first sentence. The way to recognize your brother is by recognizing the Holy Spirit in him. And then we go back to this paragraph in sentence 4. See him through the Holy Spirit in his mind, and you will recognize him in yours. What you acknowledge in your brother, you are acknowledging in yourself, and what you share, you strengthen, which is a beautiful theme throughout the course. And it's sharing the identity of the truth of what we are. And it's beautiful. It's accepting the atonement for myself. It's our only responsibility here. So that's what we keep being reminded. And I was listening to Dove's teaching. It was on the radio of the Be Grateful for Your Triggers. It was a very, very powerful teaching, Dove. I don't know, it might have been your last one, but I really, 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 really helpful. And Deb shared, I am never upset for the reason I think. I am upset because I think I'm a person. And for me, it's more like, yeah, but I am upset because I think I'm this body. I think I'm this body, that this body, what this body is going through feels like torment sometimes. And then when I allow it to affect me, I believe I am this body. So that is the power of decision, to recognize that I must have decided wrongly because I am not at peace. And to share this identity with my brother, I must see it in myself. So it's always bringing that awareness back to my mind and recognize, no, I am not upset for the reason I think. I am upset because I made a decision to listen to the ego thought system. That power of decision that Iris was talking about is so powerful, because in that instant, the whole entire world changes. And it's just so helpful. And I don't know if that was your last class, Dub, that you just taught, but it was really, really good. I wanted to let you know. Thanks.
Yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it was. And just if anyone wants to join, it's the second Saturday of every month at 11 o'clock Eastern time. Second Saturday of every month. So the last one was last week. No. Okay, forget it. It's the second Saturday of every month.
Yeah. And I will always play them because I get them as well. So you'll always get to hear them on the radio. I've played that one several times. So if you haven't, you'll hear it again, I'm sure. All right.
I also like to say you're right about a decision is what it's all about. Lesson 138, heaven is a decision I must make. Now, 139 and 140, the two of the most powerful lessons in the course. It follows this one. 130, my only responsibility is to accept the atonement. So accepting the atonement is a decision of the mind. And what does the atonement say? I never left. I've always been. Heaven is simply an awareness of perfect oneness. So it's accepting that there's nothing except an awareness of perfect oneness. And 140 says only this salvation can be said to cure. This is not healing. This is not a healing thing. This is a cure. There's a difference between Jesus looks at healing as, okay, I'm getting better. Cure, I'm home. Cure is the idea that I never left. So there is no guilt. The reason it's a cure is that it removes all traces of guilt, period. I never left. There's no guilt.
Absolutely. And yeah, that's exactly the difference between healing and curing. When you're curing, it never happened. It's done. Karen, yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Dov. And that is the saving grace, to remember that truth. We're here to remember the truth. And the other thing that just came to my mind when Iris was sharing about, we have these diametrically opposed ways of seeing our brother, and that, when we choose fear, we have every right to look at it through fear. And what I really love about Ken Wapnick's teaching is, which helped me so much, is that he says that it's only because you're afraid of love. That's the only reason you're afraid of letting go of, what would I be without this story? What would I be? Who would I be? So I'm afraid to let go of my identity as Karen, as what the body says I am. And it's looking at that with the Holy Spirit, gently letting that's the only way we let go of the guilt, through the Holy Spirit, and then recognizing that I never separated from God. I never separated from my source. And that is the saving grace that Dove just shared. So I love that if I do choose wrongly, there's so many tools in this course that help us get back to the right mind, including just saying, I must be afraid of love. That's all.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you, Karen, for that. And Dove, yes, please go ahead.
Okay, I'm glad we take a look at just lesson 138. Heaven is a decision I must make. And I'm looking at the italics, that gives you something to focus on. Heaven is the decision I must make. I make it now, and I will not change my mind, because it's the only, and you know how I feel about only, it's the only thing I want.
All right, thank you. Yes. I was gonna go put that up on the stage, but excuse me. I think we're good with that. Does anybody else want to share anything here? And just the idea, knowing it is a decision. It is not something that just occurs. People do not become just spontaneously awake. There is a decision whether we make it in our conscious mind, unconscious mind. We ask for it, we don't, but at some point we said yes. And that's, the reason we even have this course is because at some point Helen said, yes, I will. And because of that, she was given the opportunity to bring this to us. It really is a decision, always. Karen, yes, please.
Yeah, I'm glad Dove brought this lesson back up, because it is exactly what Iris was reminding us of, the power of decision, and that heaven is a decision I must make if I want peace. And in paragraph 5, he reminds us that choosing depends on learning, and the truth cannot be learned. The truth cannot be learned, only recognized. In recognition, its acceptance lies. And as it is accepted, it is known. But that's accepting the atonement for myself. But knowledge is beyond the goals we seek to teach within the framework of this course. Ours are teaching goals to be attained through learning how to reach them, what they are, and what they offer you. Here's the key for me. Decisions are the outcome of your learning, for they rest on what you have accepted as the truth of what you are and what your needs must be. So this is choosing between the the diametrically opposed thought systems of fear and love, and which one you choose. And this is repeated over and over and over. I know Zuma shares this a lot in her teaching. And I love to be reminded, that the decisions are the outcome of learning which thought system I'm listening to. And it's just so refreshing that it's always a decision. I must have decided wrongly if I'm not at peace. Heaven is the decision I must make if I want to be at peace. Why wait for heaven when I can be at peace now? Thanks.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I love in this lesson, he says, you need to be reminded that you think 1,000 choices are confronting you when there really is only one to make. And even this but seems to be a choice. Do not confuse yourself with all the doubts that myriad decisions would induce. You make but one. And when that one is made, you will perceive it was no choice at all, for truth is true and nothing else is true. There is no opposite to choose instead. There is no contradiction to the truth. So if I walk into your house and your dog comes bounding up to me and I say, oh, what a nice dog you have. And you go, that's a cat. Well, I know it's a dog. And you can call it a cat all you want, but I know it's a dog. That's the way it is with this. You know what it is. And you can call it anything else or think of anything else, but it is still a dog. A dog is a dog. Heaven is heaven. Love is love. There is no opposite to those things. No matter what anybody tells you, you can make up in your mind all sorts of reasons why it should be or could be, but it doesn't. It's not. There is only one choice, and that is, do I want to see what I deny because it's the truth? That's it. It is the last unanswered question right there. Rafi, yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, for a long time, I was busting my hump trying to get rid of this singularity, this single identity person, this Rafi thing. And I thought, wait a minute, what am I busting my hump for? This has got to be easier than this. And then I realized all I had to do was step back and look at it for what it is, like a billboard on a highway, or a couple of puppies playing in the backyard, or and just leave it alone. What's it got to do with what I am? Somebody just said now, just maintain and be one, and recognize the peace that I already am, have always been, will forever be, and let that singular identity do whatever it seems to be doing, and just step back and just watch it, and I can be entertained by it, or I can whatever. But again, the less effort I put into trying to eliminate that singular ego identity, the easier it gets, because then I realized that effort that I was using was somehow a subtle form of egoity that I wasn't really paying attention to it. Now I am. Now I can just sit back and come from the witnessing point of view, stay in peace, stay the happiness I am, be the love, and see everything as the divine presence, and let that a singular identity person just roll along, do whatever you came here to do. It's got nothing to do with what I am. If it's here to serve, then it'll serve. And thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that, Rafi. And, again, here's something that always comes up to me whenever I hear you speaking, because I see that there's two different ways of seeing this. And of course, that's, the idea of diametrically opposed that Jesus is talking about. Could I be, which, I always hear you saying, and I believe you fully believe this, that you could just let it go and that you would no longer have the problem, which is, kind of basically what this is saying. But I also think that there, if I don't look at what it is and ask the question, why do I want this? It will keep coming up because I can let it go now and be all cool with it for a little bit, but it's going to come back because it comes back over and over. So, I think, yes, maybe for the moment I'm making the decision, but I'm not making the decision for my entire existence. I'm only making the decision for this now that I know of. And, later, like the next minute when something else comes up, I forget that decision and go back into fear, upset, and I have to go back and forgive that again and go back and forgive that again. When, I just see the key in my mind is to go and say, where did this come from? And why do I keep wanting it? Because it wouldn't come up to me if I didn't ask for it. So obviously I want it. And so, saying I don't want it is it just seems like bypassing to me. And I know that there's, we all have different ideas about that. But to me it seems like, yeah, I'm just, instead of going and rooting it out, I'm just saying I don't want it anymore. And it'll go away for a minute. But it's just like, you got a toothache, you may take an aspirin, but until you go get that tooth fixed or get it pulled out, you're going to have a toothache. And no matter how many times you take an aspirin, that's not going to heal your tooth. Anyway, those are just some thoughts of my own that I felt compelled to mention this morning. So I'd love to hear what you have to say, Rafi, and then Karen.
Yeah. First of all, if you're saying I don't want, that's still a want. And want is the source of all suffering. You have to be careful because there's a want, there's an I want, that's the attachment. There's the I don't want, that's the aversion. It's still a want. And when you say you let go of something and it comes back later, that's not real. What happens when you let go of something, that's fine. But there's more of it there, and that's what comes up. And it'll keep coming up until you let it all go. But this morning I let go of wanting a lot of fear of being uh, uh, alone, being separate, and dying. And I let it go, and I let it go, and I let it go. I welcomed it all up, and I let it go, and let it go, and let it go. And I was really peaceful, and there was a lot of love, and it was just great. A little later, more of it came up because it was hanging out down there in the subconscious. But fortunately, and here's the bonus here that you may not be realizing. Fortunately, we have that power, that decisive power to bring up even more out of the subconscious that we didn't know was there, that was screwing us over, and let that go. And if more comes up later on, fine, just keep welcoming it. And it becomes this steady stream of here comes more, bye bye. Here comes more, bye bye. Here comes more, bye bye. It doesn't come back, there's just more of it. And I hope that helps. Thank you.
Thank you, Rafi. Yeah, and I understand that point of view. Uh, but I think when you said about the wanting, that it only comes up because I want it. It only comes up because I want it. So I have to ask, why do I still want this? And go to the reason. I'm afraid I'm going to get old and die. I can take those, I can take anything and take it to that point where it ends up in my being alone and dead or whatever, sick and whatever. But that's what has to be gone. It's that belief that somehow there's something I'm capable of, what I am can be alone, what I am can die. That is what I want to believe. And obviously, I want to believe that because I keep believing it. If I don't want to believe it, it will never come up again. Just like I don't want to believe that a dog is a cat, it will not come up again. So that's what I'm saying. Unless you get to the root of it and let go of what you're really holding on to, that desire that you have for autonomy, for power, for my own will to be enforced, until you get rid of that, you're just going to continue to want it, and continuing to want it just brings you back to the same place. It just keeps coming up. And like I said, it will not come up when it's no longer there. It only comes up because I want it. That's my point of view. That's my opinion of it, and may or may not be. Anyway, Karen, yes, please go ahead.
Thank you, Lynn and Rafi. I love what you both just shared. And first, what Rafi said actually reminds me of the lesson that we just read, 138. Heaven is the decision I must make. Forgiveness is letting it go. Forgiveness is letting it go. And that is a decision we can make anytime. And we all know this, but then with the key, what Lynn said is, I want it because I still want it. I'm holding on to it. And then I love what Rafi said, how, one is a source of suffering, which we know, and there's a process. So you let go of some and then more will come because I'm on the phone right now. Wait a minute. It's a process. So the process it's going to keep coming back till the process. Trials are but lessons, right? So, but what came to me again when Lynn was sharing is I want it, but I want it. And what keeps coming to me is because I want it because I am afraid of love. I want it because I am afraid of the truth of what I am. I don't want oneness right now. I don't want love right now. I want what Lynn wants. I still want to be Lynn. I still want to be Karen. I still want to be Rafi. I still want to hold on. I must be afraid of love. That's what came to me. That's why I still want it. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I mean, I think we're both, heading in the same direction. So and I love the conversation, and I love the inspiration and the power that it gives us to make that decision. That is what it is. And and Iris said that the Ethiopian Christmas was on the 7th of December. So late Merry Christmas, Iris. You know what? Yesterday, Sandy was talking about we need to find an Ethiopian restaurant because she wanted to try Ethiopian food. And I thought about you. Anyway, go ahead, Iris.
Thank you, Lynn. That just shows that everyone kind of sees it's a bit like a prism, and they're all it's all truth, and it's like a diamond, and it's got like different sparkles on the diamond, and it's like something may resonate more than something else for now, and then maybe tomorrow something else will resonate. And it's like, really, I just look at it in that way, like it's a diamond and it's got like different sparkles on it, and just depending on like which one appeals to me at that time, because it's very beautiful actually. The whole thing is so amazing. And while I was listening, I was thinking about this thing about like triggers and the person, and I noticed as well, like within myself there are so many triggers, and like especially like these triggers, like it makes sense, like we're just letting them go, but they do happen, like I can feel it in like the emotions. But then like I'm grateful, like even though like it's the reaction is happening inside, I'm noticing like, oh yeah, this is really happening, this reaction. But I'm not like reacting from that. Like I'm just looking at it and I'm seeing like, okay, this is happening. And obviously, like, I really do believe like whatever it is that's happening. But I'm willing to look at it different. And these teachings that say that it's our, quote, the way that we've been conditioned, like that really makes sense to me, because ever since like we come here, like we've been conditioned by like so many things, and that conditioning is very, very deep, very deep. And like in the Eastern teachings, when they say that when we enter that state of sleep, like there's no iris there. It's like, it's just very strange. Like in that deep sleep, there's no person. And in that those teachings, it says that even if like there was something very precious here, and Iris is in deep sleep, I mean, Iris does not care about that thing, you know? It's because, like, it's just something else is going on over there, you know? And then when you wake up, when I wake up in the morning, and then I slowly remember, like, you know, and that's why, like, people, like, especially with things like addiction, like, you know, I remember there were times when I just wanted to blank it completely, you know, like just blank it all out completely. And that was my way of, like, totally accessing that state in that there is no person here, because, like, like, that is it, you know, that there's it makes a lot of, like, logical sense to me, like, it does make sense, you know. And, like, so it's quite amazing. And this, we can do it, like, consciously, like, as in, like, there are two diametrically opposed thought systems, as in, like, this situation. So I'm looking at it with fear, and then I recognize, oh yeah, but is there another way of looking at it? And in that lesson, there is always another way of looking at things. You know, there is another way of looking at things, you know. And like, it, like that paragraph where it says, like, simply do this, be still and lay aside, like, all thoughts of what you think you are and what you think the world is. Empty your mind of everything, including good and bad, and come to God with holy empty hands. That's really, it all melts into, like, one soup, like one it just makes so much sense. And I mean, we would think, like, when the body drops, like, when we move on, like, you know, I can imagine that, like, it's completely different, you know, as in, like, it's not such a, we're not going to take stuff with us, you know, like, it's people, places, and things. And it's very, like, very, very, very amazing. And I'll hand back to Lynn.
Wow, Iris, thank you so much. I think you have just described so clearly our situation here. And yes, you know, when people do you know, drink or do drugs, do alcohol, do, you know, whatever it is, they gamble, they whatever that it is that you do to make yourself feel um like you're not there. You know, when you're asleep, you're not there. And that is a freedom that is not I mean, I know when I'm having a hard time or not feeling well, I want to sleep. You know, just go away and don't be here anymore. And why is that? Is because I want the truth of what I am. The truth of what I am is not here. You know, this is not what I am at all. So, you know, I can't blame anybody for doing that. You know, I can't get upset with somebody for, you know, taking drugs and zoning out and whatever. I'm grateful that they have a place they can go that there's some peace. But the problem with that, of course, is that is a very temporary peace, and it is not a helpful peace because it just leaves you wanting more. You know, you just want more. You want the full time, all the time, peaceful being that I am. And so I love that, Iris, and that recognition that, you know, that's all we really want is the peace of God. And that is only available to us when we let go of this world, as you said, put down this course, put down this world, and come with holy empty hands unto your God. That's really the key to all of it, is to empty all of it, let go of all of it. And that Rafi has put, got to be aware of I'm right. That's a wanting control feeling. Welcome all feelings and allow them to leave. The feeling would go, and that quiets the mind. Allowing is very loving. If more comes up, repeat the process. And yes, that is absolutely something that we can do easily. Um, and you know, and eventually I suppose it will be. It's like, you know, pulling weeds in your lawn. You know, if you get to every single one of them and get the root out, then you won't have weeds anymore. That's the theory anyway. Don't ask my lawn. But but yeah, that the whole thing of, you know, let it, you know, as it comes up, let it go. As it comes up, let it go. As it comes up, let it go. But you know, eventually, yes, you have to get to the place where what is the why does this keep coming up? Because it's still what I want. And so I can never say that I'm having an unhappy feeling because I don't want to have unhappy feeling. I can only say I'm having an unhappy feeling because I want an unhappy feeling. And if I don't want an unhappy feeling, I'm going to do something about it. And, you know, if I don't know about forgiveness, then what I'm going to do for about it is whatever is convenient. Take a drink, smoke a joint, you know, go gamble, do you know, all that kind of stuff. That is, you know, that's what I think I have to do if I don't have the freedom of of being able to just say, um, no, the, this is not what I want. I want the peace of God. And you know, we're coming to that. So part of what we do here is first recognize the power and availability of the peace of God. That not only is it something that is really what we want, but it also is very available at all times to us. And the reason that we don't take advantage of it or recognize it is because we are happy about being who we are and want to keep this persona and character running. And you know, when you stop wanting the persona and the character to keep running, then you know you're going to have some uh, some replacement, and that has got to be the truth of what I am. That is the only thing that can not only replace the feeling of insecurity and loss of, you know, fear of lack of God's love, but it's the only thing that will permanently change things. Otherwise, I'm just putting band-aids on, you know, on it. So anyway, Rafi, yes, please go ahead.
I love your lawn analogy. That was perfect. I got to keep pulling those weeds out until there are no more weeds in the lawn, until I wake up to the truth of the wait a minute. The lawn is just a picture in my head that I projected out there. There ain't no lawn. This is all part of the dream. Hello. Let me get back and take a look at this from coming from the point of view of the reality of my infinite self. What is all of this stuff? Pictures in my head that we call thoughts, because all thoughts are pictures. We think in pictures. We don't think in words. If I say a cow, you see a picture of a cow. You don't see the word COW. So that lawn is just a picture, and I projected the pictures. I'll take responsibility for it. Okay, bye bye picture. Thank you. That was perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Rafi. And what I've discovered about the lawn is just let it be. Those plants belong there. You know, because I want it to look a certain way and have a certain kind of grass in it. And I'm going to fight with it, fight with it, fight with it all the time. I mean, I'm doing that to myself. You know, let the neighbors complain, let the lawn be what it is, because it's none of my business what God wants to grow on that ground. That's you know, the fact that I even try is just hilarious. You know, we spend so much time fighting what is happening, arguing what's real here in this world. And you don't have to argue it, just accept it and recognize, you know, these a lot of those weeds are delicious. You know, you can eat them, you can use them for healing, all kinds of things. You know, we call it a weed, but it's really just what God made. That's what I told my kids their whole life. This is what God made for us. And we would walk around and pick weeds and eat them because I knew which ones you could eat and which ones we couldn't. But you know, my kids grew up knowing, you know, God put this stuff here for us. And, you know, that may or may not be true according to the dream theory here, but it's still the love of God that put it here. It couldn't be anything else. Sharon, yeah, please go ahead.
Oh, now I'm going to forget what I was going to say. Um, you know, what I have seen in my experience, um, the acceptance comes from our higher self. Spirit always accepts and ego rejects. And there's, in this mind, there's this addiction to sharing. And the addiction to sharing is, how can I let go of the character that I've always been? And this is the kind of fight that the ego will have. But then I realized Sharon is an idea in my mind, and I don't need to be addicted to her. But there's an addiction to control. Control is something that, and that is coming. You know, Rafi speaks of that a lot. You know, it's the letting go of control has to be a continuous process, because it'll snap back and the ego just slips underneath and just wants to control. And the biggest fear that I see coming up is the fear of actually God. Like I don't want to disappear. That's the kind of thing that I'm hearing the ego say. I don't want to disappear. So what I have to do is be uncomfortable sometimes. Sometimes we will be uncomfortable. This process was never supposed to be totally bliss. Then you're not really doing the course. The course is breaking down our whole structure, and the soul has a whole different um, paradigm, and it's going to probably give the body mind a lot of changes. But I have to kind of just give up all of it, because what do I want? I mean, that's the whole commitment here. What do I want? Well, if I want the truth, then of course I'm not going to beat the ego up because it likes Sharon. I'm just going to just say, okay, choose again. And that's the thing that I love about the course. The most important thing Jesus gives us is this: choose again. As soon as you choose again, you are back with the infinite. And the infinite self is just sitting here saying, listen, guys, you know, it's all just this one thing. It's consciousness. Like, if we look at the objects of consciousness, it's made up of the same thing that the dream figure's made up of. And all it is just smoke screens everywhere. So we have to kind of just look at this. And this will probably be until we die. If you look at Bill Thetford, he was he mastered forgiveness. I mean, that's what his book was like. It just mastered forgiveness. And to master forgiveness, it's 100% commitment to letting this thing go. But I see myself wanting to find out what's going on in the phenomena. And when I see that and just realize that, I just start journaling, because I realize there's a tremendous, just what Lynn was saying, fear of love. Because that all encompassing love, when we made that decision to fall asleep, we basically thought we were really going to be annihilated. And that's what's still in us. There's an annihilation once God gets a hold of us. And the truth is, we are really God's son, which means there's no separation from God in us. So it's kind of like, the way I see it at this point is just to accept the discomfort, because there is discomfort in this process. You know, I'm accepting whatever happens to this body, it's supposed to happen, because it's not really a body. It's false evidence appearing real. So that's all. Anyway, thank you. I think I'm saying what everybody's saying, really.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sharon, for that. And you know, it really is, it is that choice that we keep talking about that is so essential. I just was checking, the reason I stopped to share is because Choose Again is having a workshop, but it's $125. So I was going to suggest that it's on the internet this afternoon. In fact, right after this class, they're doing an introductory workshop to the Choose Again process, which of course, we know is the Sandy Levy process, but I'm grateful for that. So, Iris, yes, please go ahead.
Thank you, Lynn. Thank you, Sharon. Yeah, like yeah, that is just so amazing. Thank you so much, Sharon. That just hit a bell, like rang a bell. Because normally, like when those triggers come, and there are many, there's this like it's this expectation, oh, like this thing will pass like right now, and but it takes like some time, like for it to like pass. It does take time, even when I'm releasing it or forgiving it or whatever. Like it just, of course, it takes a little bit of time, to pass through. And it's like when we resist, quote, the discomfort, like which I find myself doing a lot, like just resisting the discomfort. That's not helpful. And I think it would be more helpful if I could like just let go of the resistance to the discomfort, and just allow it to be here. Just allow it. Like Rafi just shared there, like allowing is very loving. Allowing is very loving. And if we just allow everything, because it's all an experience and it's not good or bad, because there's no such thing, but it's all an experience, all of it, including the discomfort. And like that lesson 4, which is so incredible, it's like lesson 4 is saying that it's not only the thoughts that are one would consider as bad, but it's also the good thoughts, and we are asked to let them all go, because they are all equally unreal. Like lesson 4, my thoughts do not mean anything. And because the bad ones are a block to sight, and the good ones are only like shadows of what lies beyond. But they neither of them are real. They're just thoughts. So just to let them go, thoughts and feelings, like similar. And uh, that's interesting. And this other thing, like what Rafi shared, like we don't think in words, we think in pictures. That's really interesting. Like the images, my thoughts are images I have made. So it's really very enlightening. And I'll hand back to Lynn.
Thank you so much, Iris. And yes, such beautiful points everyone's making here. I mean, honestly, just come to the understanding of yes, resistance is futile. And acceptance is everything. Acceptance is all. So, whatever it is, if it's discomfort, if it's fear, bring it in, look at it. This is we can't, we will never lose it or get rid of it if we keep hiding from it. It's like, the scary movie, the person is being chased, blah, 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 until they turn to the attacker and, and face it head on. That's really what has to happen. We have to just face it head on and recognize that it's never going to hurt us. It's a shadow. It's just a figure in the dream. And, you get an argument with the figure in the dream, you get, angry, whatever. When you wake up, that figure is no longer there, and there is no argument unless you carry it in your own mind, in which case you'll have it again the next night or the next night, or you're going to have it in real life because you want the argument. You want to be in fear. And that's the problem. You have to look at, why is it that I want to be in fear? Why is it that I want to feel separate and apart? And when you come to the recognition that there is no good reason, there's no reason at all. It is absolutely a story I'm making up to hurt myself, to make myself feel uncomfortable, to make myself feel afraid. And why is that? So that I will continue to maintain the loyalty to the ego, to the body, to the world. And why is that? Because that's the purpose of the ego and the body and the world, is to keep me entranced and keep me imprisoned. It wouldn't be that way if it weren't. So, I have to give it another intention, another reason. And when the reason is, I'm not going to run from you, I'm going to just stay here in my father's arms. That's the peace that comes. So I see our time is almost up. We got through one paragraph. I just want to tell everyone, have a wonderful holiday Christmas. And if you already had your Christmas, have it again. I have a Christmas tree in my window. I leave it up all year. Always have a Christmas tree in my house, and that seems to be the way of Lynn's life. I'm a Christmas girl. So anyway, Merry Christmas to you all. And Iris, you have to tell me, is Ethiopian food spicy? Because that was the question we had.
Highland, yeah, it's very spicy, but
Yeah.
they have really lovely salads. They have lovely salads and lovely bread, but it can be very spicy.
I'll have to tell her that. So, because we can handle some spice, but maybe they'll make it less spicy for us if we ask. Who knows? Anyway, I love you guys so much. Merry Christmas. See you all later. And have a great Saturday.